Hello, this is Dr. B, and I am here to do a brief video on some things in the classroom. And so right now I have two screens, so I'm just looking for the classroom to see where it is. Let's see, not sure where it is at the present moment. Maybe it's not up. So while I'm bringing that up, I have created another version of the syllabus. It's going to be in a Google Doc, and it will just be the course topics and the calendars, just so that you know that. And I'll show you what I'm talking about here. No, I want to go here under resources. All right. And so once it's completed, I'm going to put it here in the resource folder. But this is it. And so it's just this part, the outline and the calendar. So that way it's easier to adjust. So the one that's already in the class from the beginning will stay the way that it is. So this is where we are in week 5. This week, I have put a strike through here because this is not correct. And then there's the quiz that's due at the end of the week. Or Monday. I think I put that for Monday just because we're still kind of trying to get, back on schedule, and I am using the calendar now. I know there are some of you who have turned in your infant assessment, and that is fine. If you have not, you have between now and the end of week 6 to get those in. If you are able to take a good picture of your survey, if you don't have a scanner, you can certainly get it to me that way, or you can, I'm not sure if you can scan at the library. Otherwise, you can take it to the social sciences office in room 242, and I have a mailbox there. So you can do that for any of your assessments that you are not able to get to me in Blackboard. But if you are going to try to do it with your phone, it needs to be completely clear so that I can actually see it. Okay. So again, for this week, there are no trifolds due. You can definitely turn in your infant assessment with the permission slip, and that's between now and the end of next week. So between now and next Sunday, basically, which would be the 20th. Okay. So I've highlighted things to hopefully they'll stick out a little bit more in this Google Doc. I know they're already kind of stand out in the other one, but this is different. So you'll notice that our first test is next week here. Here is where the trifolds begin. Okay, so this will start week 7. And so I've broken them down because we can't do them all in one week. All right. And so they're just pretty much put in order. So you can look and see where you fall as far as the trifolds. And the ASQ will be due also in week 7. Okay. And typically that's how it is in this class. Because the trifolds are ongoing, so it kind of gives the feel of some overlap. And after you kind of hit past a certain week, that's when it kind of really starts to pile up. And so I just wanted to make sure you knew that these are highlighted. Here are the due dates. And here, week 9, there is a check-in point for the field work, which means you will be turning in a timesheet that should have a minimum of 13 hours. That is worth 50 points. So you definitely want to make sure that that is submitted on time. And there is a small group presentation for this class. Here we'll have a movie, just so you know, pretty funny one. And then somewhere else up here in adolescence, there's a movie as well. And so I do need to know if people have Netflix, but I was going to post something about that so you could respond. But anyway, it's due down here in week 14. The group multimedia presentations, okay, it's worth 50 points. And then there will be responses to the presentations, and then there'll be peer assessments of group work. Okay, and so I want to talk a little bit about these multimedia presentations. In the class, under resources, I have put the presentation, I've put a PowerPoint here with some information on it. This will also be in the week 14 module, but you need to be able to see it now, so that's why I put it here. Okay, so once you open that up, it is basically going to let you know what the presentation is about. Okay, so I want to just explain a few things. All right. Oh, that's a typo, isn't it? All right. And 1 second. All right. So you're going to focus on a broad and a specific topic. Okay. And so I put an example here. In our book, Emotional Development in Middle Childhood, that's a broad topic, right? But then something specific in that topic is childhood depression. And so you are not limited for your specific topic. You're not limited to things that we have covered. In fact, I prefer you pick something that we haven't covered because it gives you a chance, to learn something new. And you're pretty much branching it off of the broad topics that we've already went over. But you're going to present this information in a magazine or flip book format. So I wanted to make sure that I explained that. It's going to be less than a research paper, but more than a slideshow. Okay, so it's going to be somewhere in between. So it's a different kind of assignment. Okay, these are just examples here of broad topics from the book. But you're not limited to these, of course. But I do want to make sure that broad topics are just that. They're very broad, and so they don't necessarily focus on something specific. Even with special education, it's still pretty broad because there's a lot that falls up under that. And the pies, these are just the things that the physical, the intellectual, the emotional, and the social. All right, those 4 domains of development. Theory, meaning what it was and what it is now. So for instance, if you decided you wanted your issue to be on that, then you would include some articles about what theory was, when it first came out. Like you could talk about Piaget, and then you could do some research to see how is that affecting education now, meaning, so then you take that and you'd still have to find something specific because that's very broad. And so that's what I mean by then and now. Okay, and these are just some examples here. And up here where it says prenatal and newborn through middle adulthood, these are the age ranges that we're covering. So that's all of them. I think there's about 7 total, of course. So you could actually just choose one of these. You could choose, newborns, and then something specific about newborns if you, wanted to do that. Okay. You will need a minimum of 5 outside sources. 2 of them must be peer reviewed. Graphics must be included. And I do need to approve your topics and the platform that you are using. And so I'm going to go a little bit into that, and then I'll be done. You want to use a platform that's going to allow collaboration because this is a group project and it's an online class. So you want to do something where you don't have to be together to do it. So I'll show you a few examples. Here, I was just looking up something, what's the best application. And I don't know if you're familiar with OneNote, but that is definitely an option. It's pretty simple, pretty easy to use, and you can collaborate on there. That's what it looks like in here, but you can, work with it to make it look like a magazine. I wanted to pull up some of my other screens. Where did they go? I had all kinds of stuff up here. Now it's like it just disappeared, and I don't know. Oh my gosh, what happened to it? I had Sway open. Oh, what's this back here? Haha, there you are. All right. So, like, this is Sway by Microsoft Word. And this is web-based like Google Docs. Okay, and so you can definitely use this. It can go from side to side or up and down, how I'm doing it, or it can be like a PowerPoint. but it can be used and set up to look like a magazine. Some of the things I'm going to show you may be a little bit easier to make into a magazine than others, but there are multiple platforms, okay? This is an example of a magazine, an online magazine, Counseling Today, that I get. I'm a part of the American Counseling Association. And so if you notice, this is an actual magazine. And so it has a cover story, right? And then you can scroll down. And so right here, you click and then you get the full article. Okay. So notice how it kind of has that blog feel to it. So if you wanted to do something like that, like on a WordPress or, a Blogger, there's tons of places where you could do that. The only thing about this is there's a little bit too much text, not enough graphic. So just be careful that if you do choose to do something like this, that you're adding just a little bit more graphic, because I don't want it to be that you just, basically put a paper online. Okay, so I just want to make sure that you know that. This is ZinePal. This is an online thing that you can use also, and it is free, of course, but then it's limited when it's free. Let's see, I was going to try to find something for you that you could see. Let me see if I can open up his. Yeah, I'll accept. Just don't give me a virus. All right, so this is his. And so notice how it still kind of has that whole blog feel. So this is kind of like that's not a good example at all. I don't even know if yeah, I'm not feeling that. And you know what? I only get 15 minutes. So I'm going to stop this one. I'm going to post it. And then I'm going to return so that I can wrap this up because I don't want to run out of time. All right. Stay tuned for part 2.